moving to today's session, which is all about Microsoft Power Platform, that what we are going to see. My Power Platform is a low-code platform that spans Office 365, and it will be having Azure Dynamic 365, and it will have the standalone applications in it. These there are four type of different things that are integrated with the Microsoft platform, which is, and the first thing is Power BI, and second one is Power Apps, third one is Power Automate, final one is Power Virtual Agent. And inside the Power App and Power Automate, we do have something called as data connectors, AI builders, and Dataverse with us, which will be having the development that can be performed inside the Power Automate. And coming to each one of it, Power BI is something like a visual agent, which will be used for the analytics tool, and Power Apps is a application development tool, wherein it will be having the low code platform, and you can build by just dragging and dropping things and making it work for you. And Power Automate is something like the chatbot creations and everything can be done with the Power Automate. It will be having flows in it, and wherein you can send the email, or it will be acting some kind of the automation kind of thing, that will be all the automated relation thing that you will be able to work with the Power Automate. And last one is the Power Virtual Agent, where you will be seeing about the intelligent Power Virtual Agent, where the Power Virtual Agent can be combined with Power Apps or Power Automate, and you will be able to work on it. And moving to our session, which is all about the Power Apps. And before moving to it, let's see the valuable values that what we have when we go for the Power Platform. Power Platform is very easily adoptable by delivering the custom and collaborative digital experiences that what we have. Also, we will be able to build the solutions very easily across our organization with whatever changes that what we actually need, that rapidly comes to us, right? So that can be done easily, and we will be having the reduced extra costs that are associated with the custom applications that what needs to be built. And here we will be having the low code no code tools, and we will be able to develop it, and we don't have to be an expert when we step in and when we want to learn the Power Platform. So that's the biggest advantages of using the Power Platform. And within 2 days or 3 days, you will be able to pick up all the things, and you will have a when you have a hands-on, um, or a kind of solution that what you are going to build, then you will also be an expert in the Power Platform. So those are the things that are very simple about the Power Platform. And coming to Power Apps of today's concept, the main advantage of using the web and the uh, mobile Power Apps is like, Power Apps, you don't have to spend much time on building an application for web related thing as well as the mobile related thing. Many people find it difficult nowadays, right? They build applications that are suitable for um, web or mobile, but that is not possible when it comes for both to be done together. So that's where the Power Apps came in, and you will be able to make solutions that are compatible for both web and mobile applications together, where you will also have something called as Canvas app, where you will be able to select the tablet or phone, and based on that you will be able to work, and you will be having the standalone devices as well, and you can build many things on the Power Apps with that. And what is Power Apps and what it can do for you is like, it's a low code, no code platform that is used for building the apps. And what is meant by low code, no code is like, you either you will be coding it low, or you will not be coding at all, just by dragging and dropping things. So that becomes the low code, no code. And we will be having the data that what we have to work on, and data is something which will be playing around the Power Apps, and you will be able to work on it. And we do have the three different types of Power Apps with us. As I told earlier, we do have something called as Canvas app, which will be used to build the just a canvas related thing, wherein it's just a basic thing, but you don't have to code much of C#, or you don't have to do anything of that sort. Model driven app is like, it's built from the data in the Microsoft Dataverse, where it requires some kind of the coding, or you depends on your particular solution on whether you can code it, or you can just drag and drop it. And Canvas app is basically used for all the basic related solutions that are available for your organization. And model driven app are something like which the solutions that are not possible via the Canvas app can be taken over by taken over with the model driven app, and you will be able to work on it. And portals are something like, when you want to access it externally from other party tools, or from the people outside your organization want to access it, then that becomes the portal site. So these are the three different types of the uh, Power Apps that are available over the market today. And when you want to add the artificial intelligence to your application, then that's also possible. The predictive model, which is created by using the AI builder, uh, will be will be predicting you with an yes or no solution. Or when you want to make up the questionnaire chatbot, then you can go ahead and add the artificial intelligence that is available to your low code, no code, and make it work for you. So these are some of the benefits that the Power Apps offer you, and it can do for you. And moving on, how do we connect the data that are available with the Power Apps with the Dataverse that is available? Dataverse is like, it will be used for connecting the data that are available. And it is used for having the model with with the business logic, security, and integrations that are built in. And when you want to put your data, then you will be extending your needs and integrate your apps and services that are available to you. And which is like, you will be having the dynamic 365 Azure integration, and then data from the industry partners are available all over the Azure, are being connected via the Dataverse. And we will be having the data connections that are happening will be taken place here. And when it comes for a plan or subscription, on how do you want to choose your Power App subscription, how it happens is here, like, you will be having you have to choose the Office 365 subscription when you want to have the um, when you want to have the basic Power Apps that are available to you. And when it comes for the Power Apps Plan 1 or Plan 2 or Dynamic 365, it is something like we will be have in Dynamic 365, we will be having the customized and the extended Dynamic 365 app that are already available, that can be integrated along with it. And when it comes for plan of Power Apps P1, it's an enterprise level connector, and we will be having something called as common data service, which is commonly called as CDS, wherein we will be having the data that are being available to us, right? That can be connected via the common data service. So we will be having all those things that that are available as part of the enterprise thing will be connected over here. And when it comes for P2, we will be having the robust built business logic across the application types. It's an upgraded version of the P1 version that is available. And when it comes for community, it is an enterprise level thing, and you will be having the individual use for it. And if you are a learner if you are a learner and want to just begin, then you can go ahead and opt for Office 365 Azure subscription and go ahead and get started with the learning for the learning curve, and get started with the Office 365 or the trial version that is available with the Azure platform that it offers for. And what happens is, with the Azure subscription, you will not be able to uh, create the Power Apps explicitly. That's because you need a tenant that needs to be created for the um, Power Platform, and you have to create an tenant that is available and make it work for you. Creating tenant is something easy, and we'll let you know the steps that needs to be done when we go ahead and see the demo for it. And when it comes for common data service for apps, it's the thing that what we have been seeing, right? It's like the standard entities uh, that represent commonly used concepts and activities that are used for your application domains or for your business. And it will be extending the standard entities by adding the custom fields and relationship to you. And what it would be doing is like it would be defining the business rules and validation to make sure that your data is being of high quality, and how do you connect your data, and how do you import your data, and how your data is being connected to the other dataverses, and all these things are being taken care by the service which is called as common data service for apps. And we do have something called as Pro Developer SDK, which is used for the developer, which is used as a developer SDK, wherein you will be having the CDS being allowed access from any pro development application, where before your development as well, you will be able to have the trial version of it, and it will be having access to your things and make it work for you. So these are the things that are available as part of the common data services that has been uh, dis- that has been playing a major role in Power Apps. And when we see the screenshot that has been available here, we do have something called as Power Apps at the top, and then we have the common data services that are available here, and uh, we have a set of flows that are being available, right? So in all these things, what happens here is like the the services that what you are actually going to choose, either it can be connecting to Microsoft database, or connecting it to a SharePoint, or creating just a Excel thing, or whatever kind of the work that what you are going to do, all those works will be taken care by the common data services that are available. And like what we discussed earlier, we have the three kind of apps that are available, right? So let's start discussing on the apps that what we actually have, and what does each kind of the what does each kind of the app that you can use for. And let's let's start with the Canvas app first. And when it comes for the Canvas app, it's just a basic app that what you can actually do for. And when it comes for a Canvas app, you can start building your screen size, and you can decide on your screen size, whether it can be a sorry, whether it can be a tablet or mobile, and then how your screen has to be. And you can decide on the data sources that what you are going to interact with. And you can add the multiple drag and drop options that are available, either it can be of text or button, or all those different kind of forms, or you can connect it with the you can connect it with the source. So all these things can be made available with the Canvas application that are available. Canvas applications, when it comes the all the Microsoft 365 applications that are developed, right? So all those things are being developed with the help of the Canvas app only. So whenever you go ahead and use the applications that are part of the M365, right? So you will be able to remember the application that is created as like Canvas. And when it comes for when yeah just a second, let's see an overview of model driven, and then let's come back. Yeah, model driven is something like where you will be having the dataverse being connected with it. Let's see what is meant by dataverse a bit later. And now we will be connecting the dataverse with it. And we will be having the great functional application that can be built via the model driven app, where it will be defining the relationships between the forms. And then it will also have the different kind of the business rules, and that will give you the data layer and what's inside the dataverse. And it will have the control to get all your business result without writing the formula by yourself. It will be prompting suggestion that will be available for the model driven app. And it will be making it work for you. And when it comes for the uh, when it comes for the Canvas, where you have to type everything by yourself, like what you do inside the Excel, right? So unlike that, in model driven app, you will be having the suggestions that are available to you. And you can go ahead and use it. And when it comes for Dataverse, what is meant by Dataverse? Dataverse is like a database that is used for storing the standard data, right? So we will be having the I guess there is someone who had raised hand, right? Are there any queries? Let me take up the questions at the last, and let's finish off the theory part at least, and let's get started with the demo part. I would be taking up the queries at the last. And for now, I am continuing with the sessions and going ahead with the theory part of whatever I had planned. Please drop in your questions, and I would be able to make it up at the last, and will answer you for sure. And coming back, Dataverse is a database that is used for storing the set of the standards that and the custom data structures that are available, which are called as tables, that what we have regularly in the database, right? So it's the same thing with a different word that is called here as Dataverse. And when it comes for common data model, what we would be having here is like we will be having the set of open sourced, standardized, extensible data tables and relationships that are available to us. And we will be able to use the common data model with a part of the open data initiative that is available. And you can go ahead and use the open sourced data tables and relationships that are available. And uh, this is all about the model driven app that is available to us. Once again. Yeah, when it comes for portal, we do have something called as the portal in Powerapps, where we will be having the power of the no code solutions that are mostly available like website are here called as the portal. And through the Power Apps interface, what you can do is like you can build some anonymous or authenticated website that will allow you to interact the data that are held with the help of the Dataverse. And with that, you will be able to build a portal as well. And what you can do here in portal is like you can drag and drop the components that are available to you as part of the portal, and you will be able to build the applications with the help of just dragging and dropping. And that becomes the interactive website as well. And you can interact it um, with the various values that are various components or values that are available to you, and make it work on your interest. And when it comes for Power Apps, what it can do for you, uh, we do have something called as security and administration that is also being covered as part of the Power Apps, that what it can do for you, right? So we have the high security mechanism that has been available along with Power Apps, where you can have the PowerShell PowerShell CMD lets for app creators or administrators. And it will be allowing you to have the administrative duty by yourself. And it also has something called as private app or public app, or you can decide on who want to view your particular website, so website or mobile app that is available. So it all depends on the security that what you are actually opting for. And it all depend it you will be able to add all the security related things. And whenever you want to connect with the database, or whenever you want to connect with the um, security related thing, you will be having to give the passwords, right? So all those things are also being taken care, and they will also be uh, given a set of the particular way on how you want to drive the business value. So coming back to how do you drive your business value is like, you will be building the apps with easy terms, and you will not be having a much difficulty on how do you build the business value. And when it comes for Power Apps, it's it's like mostly used for reducing the reducing the manual works that are being taken care regularly, like you do write in paper on you for some automated related thing, right? So all those things can be done inside the Power App, and you will be able to work on it with the uh, high business value, and ensure that you will be having the single source of truth, which is from the Power Apps, and you will be having the business value based on that. And when it comes for building up Power Apps, today we will be seeing a demo of how do we build up Power Apps from the scratch, and we will be seeing that. So to build a Power App, these are the things that are actually mandatory things that what we actually want. And first thing is like, you have to connect a data source. And connecting a data source is something like, it can be of it can be of shared uh, SharePoint, or database, or simple Excel. So that can be of anything. And the second thing is like, you will be exploring the application. And um, third one is like, how does the generated application look like. And fourth one is like, based on the exploration of the generated application, you will be customizing the application for yourself. Like you will be browsing over the screens, and you will be creating or editing the existing screen that are available to you based on your comfort, based on your comfortability. And if there are any charts that needs to be displayed, or if there are any chat bots that needs to be displayed, on how the theme has to be, or how the visual has to be. So all those things will you will be taking care, and you have to work on the applications that are customizing the application. And it is something which is you can work in the web, or you can work in the application that is available on your device. So Power Apps is of two types. One is working in device, and second one is working from web. And whatever things that you do, or from the device as well, you have to go ahead and use for the web to make it publish, or to make it work well for you. So my recommendation for application would be like, using it from the web for whatever the application that what you are actually going to create. And we do have controls and Power Apps, which are like, you can integrate the forms, and you can add images or videos or GIFs inside the Power Apps. And you can also add charts inside it, and you can create galleries. Like if you are creating some applications which are just for recognizing people inside your particular team, which may be for just 5 to 6 people, right? So you will be having galleries for it. So you can add in all the images that are present with the simple application, and publish it, so that the other teams will also be able to see it. So this is some kind of example that what I can actually think of. And when how do we share the application as like, the first thing that what you have to do is you should save the application, and there is something called as share, which is which is available inside the Power Apps itself. And you will be specifying the user or group that what you actually want to share for. And based on the security groups, it will be sharing the application. So when it comes for permission, there is something always available as an implicit one, is like the permissions are being some permissions are being given implicitly, like you can read the application, but you will not be able to um, edit it unless and until you do have the permission. So reading is possible when you give the share button itself, but they will not be able to edit it unless they have the permission that is available for them. And even if they don't have access to to the particular environment that what we are actually creating for, then they will not be able to access this particular application that what we had actually shared for. So these are some kind of the constraints that are that needs to be taken care when we are sharing the application to others. And now let's stop here and let's get back to the demo part. And to make the Power Apps available, what we actually have to do is like we will be just a second, I will save it and let's get back. Yeah, we will be we will be going to okay, the first thing when you want to go is like you will be going to make.powerapps.com, and this is where you can actually start building your applications from. And when you want to get the access for yourself, then you have to click in here, and when you click on the view account, this is where you will be having the access for the tenant and everything. And with that, you will be when you are using your personal Azure subscription and want to get access for, then there is something called as tenant, where it will be creating the different ID for you as term of work or business ID, and it will be allowing you to work based on the subscription that what you have opted for with the help of the Azure subscription. And this is about the Azure subscription that what you can actually plan for. If that's not the case, then you can plan for Dynamic 365 or Microsoft 365 subscription. And then with that, if you have actually bought that, then you will be able to access the Power Apps for sure, and will be able to create the application inside that. And first step that what you would be doing is like creating the environment that what you can actually build for. Environment is something like where like what we said, right? It will be deciding on your roles and which environment that what you are actually working for. Say if you are from each organization will have different teams, right? So when it goes for organization level, it would be easy to bring out with the help of the environment. So that's where environment will come in picture for us. And when it comes for uh, when it comes for organization, right? So if you are in team A and team B does not want to have view application that what you are actually creating for, then you will be creating a separate environment here, and you will be creating a separate environment here, and with with that environment in selection, you will be able to create the environment that has been allocated for you. And when you select for the next environment, if you don't have access, then you will not be able to view it. And when it comes for the application level, then you will be giving the blank application when you want to connect for an application. And when something is already in place, then you will be having it under your apps, which is being displayed here, and you can just edit it or play it based on um, how you are actually planning for. And you can also have the analytics preview on how the data is being used. um, this is where we will be having the data being connected, and it will be displaying on how your data has performed each day. Since I had published it today, it is not displaying, and it will not be working though, but this is something which we can actually do. And then you can also add it to teams. If you are using some kind of chatbot or something and you want to make it work for you, then you can connect it to teams, right? So in all those purposes, you will be having the add to teams, and you can export, or this is where I was telling the share. And when you give on share, and when you give the email ID uh, and the other things, you will be having the you will also be able to select the permissions if you are an administrator for this particular environment, that what you are actually looking for, and you will be able to work on all these things. And you can also create the SharePoint site or Excel or SQL or image, Figma. All these things can be done inside the application. And if you want to go ahead and start with a template as well, there are many templates that are um, available to us, and you can just click on it, and you can start using it. And now we will be having the, I would go back and unable to actually navigate the screen. I'm not sure why. Uh, okay, I'm just opening it with edit mode to it, and whenever you try to open for the second time with the same environment with the same ID, it would be saying like you have an already open thing, and you will be able to override it. So this is where we will be giving the override as okay, and we will be creating it. And whenever you create a blank app, right? So nothing here which are being created will be visible to you. and it will be just a blank white screen, like white board, right? So it will be something of that sort, and you will not be having anything. And and the first thing that what you actually want to do is you have to decide on which screen that what you are actually looking for. Blank is for, let me click on blank. It will be creating a screen below it, and this is how it would be appearing. Like, it will not be having any data to it, and you can add data to it. And when you are creating a split screen, it will be like having the two different screen splitted to it, and you can work with one as different and the second one as different, and both will be available inside the same canvas. And now I had created it and I want to remove, then that's also possible. You can also rename it. You can also rename it, and if you want to delete it as well, that's also possible. And these are some kind of the screens that are available. And if you want to change the theme on how it looks like, then you can go ahead and um, opt for the theme that will be coming over as below, and it will be based on the theme that what you actually select for. Like, if I'm giving for blue, it comes as blue, and light is something like how it looks like. But the thing is, like, it will be having the applied for the whole project that what we had actually created for, and not for the separate screen that is available. And what we can do inside the Power Apps is, like, this is application that what we actually gave for. And now you can, when you, this is insert and this is tree view, what we actually look for. Tree view is where you can see whatever, whether it's a local variable or global variable that is available to you. And with that, you will be able to, you can change it from a local variable to a global variable. And if it's a global variable, then it would be accessible from to all over the screens, and you can make it access only to that particular screen as well. Then that becomes the local variable. Then those are the things that are available, and you can view it inside the tree view. And when you give on insert, what happens here is, like, you will be having the various input or various components that are available to us, like whether it can be of button or form or combo box or radio button, whatever it may be, it will be available inside it. And display is something like text label, HTML labels or forms, that what you actually want to get it for. And media is like what we saw, right? Adding images or camera, and if you want to take pictures, then you will be adding all those things over it. And PDF viewer is also been available, and all those different shapes is also available when you want to put a black arrow marks, or when you want to draw some kind of shapes like triangle, or when you want to do all these things, then all these things are available inside the components which is available insert by insert. Data is like dataverse, that what we actually saw for. And dataverse is that can be of any number of connectors that are actually available for single a single Power Apps can be connected to n number of connectors that is available for. Like for now, there are around 395 connectors that are available inside the Power Apps, and you can opt to get the connectors being connected to either from Excel or from SharePoint or from different kind of the data source that is available. And what you can actually do is like just click on it, and you will be able to click on the Excel that what you actually want to open for, and you will be clicking on with the open, and with that you will be having the Excel that has been created. And once that is all done, you will be having the table that has been displayed here. For now, I had connected something called as SharePoint, wherein SharePoint is something like you can access the SharePoint or Excel from here, right? So with that, I had clicked on the SharePoint here, and it came here, and with the SharePoint, I had created a SharePoint list, which is like leave list, where it will be storing the um, number of the days that each person took uh, days off for a month, and with the date as well, from the date as well. And it's like you will be creating the you will be creating on the new, and you will be creating on the name as well. And with that, you will be having the values that is being stored, and you can yeah, you can add values in it, and you can also export it within the form of Excel or CSV and connect it as Excel as well. And I had now connected it as form of the SharePoint itself. And let me tell you how I did here. But what I did is like I connected the SharePoint by SharePoint, and it will be prompting you to connect with the ID that what you had actually opened for, and you can select the ID, and with that you have to provide your email ID and access, and then you have to select on the a list that what you had actually created for Power Apps training is a list that what we leave list is something like what we had actually created for. So you have to select that particular list, and once you do that, it will be getting displayed here. So that becomes the data on how do you want to add your data here. And then when you want to add on media, or when you want to add the Power Automate flow as well, you can go ahead and do. Power Automate is something like what we saw used for um, doing the simultaneous work, right? So with the form of flows, so you can go ahead and create a flow saying that if you are sending a mail request um, for email, then you can go ahead and put the date over there with your manager date, and with that it would be sending an email to him saying you have to plus on the click button to approve it. With that, when he approves, then that particular data will be approved, and your leave will also get stored inside the data that what you have connected, right? So all these simple flow that what we can actually do can be created with the help of the Power Apps. And inside the Power Apps, inside the flow, you will be calling the Power Apps with the name here of whatever screen that what you actually want to do. And then when it comes for monitor or test, you will be able to do the analytics and the test that what you want to do for your app. And this is like find and replace. So coming back on how do you build your application, it's like I had dropped in here with the text input that I created for, and whenever I drop in a text input, you will be able to rename the value by here with the name here, and then you can have a default, or when you give the default value here, then that gets displayed over there, like this one. So you can select for the default value, and if you give it as blank, then that will be coming as blank over there. And then you can select for the different kind of the formats that is available as well. Either it can be of number, or how do you want it to make it look for. And I had next given the button option as well. And one more thing is like you do have a different kind of the default selection that is available here, deciding on what your text box actually have to work on. um like if it's a default one, then it would be just taking up the value. But if you want to give the border color, or if you want to make it something like it has to get the value and pass it over, or changing it with the visible value that is available, then you will be deciding on the selection over here. And when you give it, then you will be getting the formula that is straight mapped to it. And you can change the color of it and work on it. And when it comes for the other things like on change, then you will be having the I had actually uh, given the content here, like I actually want to get the text input one, and with the text, and make it update for here, and wherein I am storing it inside the local variable called example by taking the text input one's input, and I am storing it inside the example local variable. So this is where we will be we have to actually give type in all over the uh, formulas that what we actually need. And the one simple thing is like it would be prompting on how do you want to give your um, syntax as well here. And moving to next one is like this is an button where I had created for. And inside the button, what I am actually doing here is I am navigating to screen 2, and screen 2 is something which has been connected to this particular list that has been created inside the SharePoint. And how I had connected is like you can change the name here, and you can display the a display mode as whatever that what you actually want to do. And inside the functions, you can do whatever functions that what you actually want to select for. In this case, I had selected on select, which is when you select it, it will be performing these particular actions inside it, which is it will be creating a new form. And after creating a new form, it would be navigating to screen 2, and with that, it will be setting the transition as fade, which is we will not be copying any context from it, and we will just be getting all the data from it. And this is something like we do have forms available over here, and we had been using it for the data to be displayed. And moving to next one, which is form screen 2. um, Yeah, screen 2 is something like which I had where I had actually given the data that I want to connect for, which is being done via the whenever you put in the edit form. I will just drop in edit form here, and it would prompt you for connecting the data, right? So when you want to connect the data, that whatever you want to do, either it can be of SharePoint or database or from Excel, then what you actually want to do is, the first thing is like connecting the data to your application, one which is being done via the add data over here. Once that is done, you can now get the option of the applications that are available here, and with that, when you give the list here, you will be getting the things being displayed, and you can change on the columns on how do you want to look like. So this is where this particular screen is getting looked like. And when you want to delete it off as a whole, then that's also possible with just delete overhead after um overing it. And this is and this is all about whatever that what you can actually create for. And when you want to preview your application, what okay, I had run it in the first screen. I have to run it in the first screen. So I am running it on the first screen, and after doing it, I had given a preview, right? So whatever thing that what I am actually writing it over here, then it will be creating a vice versa of what I had actually created for. And inside the button, we saw few things, like uh, we had created a thing to navigate, right? So I am clicking on it, and once I click on it, it has navigated to the screen 2, which is being mentioned here. Like you can mention on how many days that your what's what's the title and how many days, whether it can be and date. If date is of date formats, right? So if you give a mismatch to it, then it won't work. And with that, this data will get stored inside the list that what we actually created for. And once you make it work everything, then what you can actually do is like you can publish the application and make publish the full version, or based on the application that what you actually want to publish it for. Then like if you want to make it to go for production or make it to work for others, then meaning before sharing it, you have to publish it, right? So pub once you publish it, you will be able to get all the things being done. And I'm not publishing it because it will not be allowing me to create, because I am in the free version that what I have actually created for. So um, until now, I am stopping here for any questions that are there, and will try to catch up the.
Excuse me, we are running out of time. So,
Yeah,
shall we proceed to question Q&A?
yeah, sure. I am done with the presentation and everything.
Yeah,
I
and
will
guys,
go prepare for question.
I would like to request attendees to fill the poll about feedback. Yeah, you proceed to answer question.
Sure. There is a question called, is Canvas app associated with Canva app? I don't really get the question. Uh, there is an application that is available inside the Canvas Power App itself, which is called as Canvas app, where without any much coding knowledge, you can get the data with it. And with, can you please explain the similarities and difference between metaverse and dataverse? Dataverse is like a data when it's like a data table that what you actually connect for, and metaverse is like when you are uh, when you are connecting it for a different kind of the table. There, when there are multiple tables inside the application, then that becomes the metaverse. Okay, right. And Tenet is like Azure AD, that what we actually look for. It's like a security mechanism to log in inside the Azure subscription. Uh, and whenever the tenant is being available, you will be able to get in. And for Power Apps, you have to create the tenant, because you will be having the personal ID when it comes for your personal work, right? So when you want to make it work as a business ID, you have to make it work as a business ID, and then with the business ID to make it work, you have to provide the tenant being created to it, and the active subscription being given the access that works similar to the organizational level. So for that, the tenant purpose is being used. So next question: Figma app for Mac has any relation to Figma app as a Power App? I'm not sure of it, but I can check for it and I can let you know if Figma app for Mac is same as a Power App or not. I don't guess so. It's Power Apps is something different, so I'm not sure of it. Let me check and let you know. Just ping me in LinkedIn if you have any further queries to it. Is it possible to change the data sources after deployment? Yes, it is possible to change the data sources at any moment, that what you actually do after the deployment as well. But the deployment, as like other deployments, that what you actually do, it will be going in as a different deployment parent. The whole thing that what you had actually deployed previously will go under the different version, and now it will go under the different version, so you will be able to change the data sources as well. Thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity to talk at this session.